Manchester United 0, Bournemouth 3. I'm joined by Stephen Howson. Just another on the list of sort of incomprehensible results for Manchester United over the last few years. Why are we still seeing this? Why are we still seeing this capitulation almost every other week at the minute?
It's multifaceted, and this is something that you do when you're getting this inconsistent results. Is you want to micro-analyze everything, every goal, every turnover, everything, and go, well, this is the reason we did this. This is the reason we did this. And this is the reason we did this. You want to just fucking draw a big line underneath it and go, we're fucking not good enough. And the players that we're putting out are simply not fucking good enough. That'll about do it.
But surely there's a difference between sort of not being good enough and losing games and, not always being at the best you can be and all that. And then this thing of, 2-0 up against Galatasaray, 3-1 up against Galatasaray, we draw the game. A goal down against Bournemouth, and then it ends up being 4-0 against Brentford last season. Like, these 3s and 4s, I think today was the first time we've lost 3 or more goals to a team that started the league in the bottom 10 in the first time in our history at home. Like, these aren't... We've been bad before. What is it about this? Is it a mental thing? What is it?
I don't know. Like, that's why I said, you'll go fucking insane trying to analyze it all. I mean, if you go look at the goals, I wanted to see Mainu and Amrabat. And there was so many people arguing with me saying, oh, McTominay scoring goals, he has to start. But this is literally like rolling the dice again, thinking you're getting a 6 because you just got a 6 twice. Yeah. Like, you have no idea what you're going to get. And thinking he's going to just continue this rich vein of goal scoring was never going to be a game plan. It was always a roll of a dice. There was no control in there. There was no predictability in there. It was literally like, let's see if we could just pull this out of our ass and hope for the best. And that's not smart management. So I think Ten Hag has to take a bit of a look in the mirror with some of the decisions that he's making. Playing Anthony Martial, who's just dropping zeros. Getting a start for Manchester United used to mean something. Used to have to be earned by something. This fucker was talked about today about getting a testimonial. If that doesn't highlight the shit show United have been post Sir Alex Ferguson, I don't know what does. How is someone like Anthony Martial within 18 months of a testimonial?
I mean, yeah, it's and I don't think he's scored more than 10 goals in a season for 3 years now. Just on some sort of individual pieces of this then. The first goal, I think it's Bruno tries to kick the ball out from the back and it gets intercepted. McTominay...
No.
Talk me through it then. Talk me through it.
No. He plays a ball to a Manchester United player in space whose inability to control it leads to a goal.
Okay, well, that's what I was going to ask you.
Yeah, he's chipped a ball into a player that's probably got no one within 10 yards of it. That's a perfectly fine fucking ball to do. But McTominay's fundamentals are so fucking poor that he's not checking his shoulder. He's a big dude. Like, I've seen a weird example, but Paul Pogba, right? Similar sort of size to Scott McTominay. Paul Pogba, in those circumstances, steps across the ball, gets his arse in the way, and bumps off whoever it is that comes to him, turns and plays the ball at the pitch. Paul Pogba can do that because Paul Pogba's actually quite good on the ball. Scott McTominay does what he does because he's fucking dreadful on the ball. There you go. That's what happened. And we're trying to play out through Maguire, who's hiding. Maguire had half as many passes today as Luke Shaw. How? Because he doesn't fucking show for it, ever. He goes and marks himself. He got closer to Solanke when we was in possession than he did when Solanke scored.
So let's stick with McTominay for a second. We'll come back to Maguire because I want to talk about the Varane situation there. But if we look at Scott McTominay, he's playing, and if you're Ten Hag and you're saying he shouldn't be playing, and you're saying he shouldn't be playing. If you're Ten Hag, what do you do? Because even when he doesn't play, we don't score, we don't control the game, or we haven't seen much of that this season. And then at least when he does, we might score. The front three have scored, 3 goals or 4 goals all season between them. What's the option here? You either score, you maybe score with McTominay, or you don't score without him. He's in a bit of a tricky spot, isn't it? It's not just as simple as drop McTominay and we'll win every week. I know you're not saying that, but can you see how we've got here?
And one of the reasons why he's been scoring or been getting the opportunity to score is there's fucking nobody else. Like, when you look at the options for picking a team today, you had 3 decisions to make on players. You had, do I go with Reguilon or do I go with Lindelof? That was probably one of the decisions that you had, because seemingly Varane no longer exists. You had, do I go with Mainu or do I go with McTominay? Because there are no other midfielders you can select.
Yeah.
Do I go with Martial or do I go with Højlund or no, maybe Rashford? This isn't like you've got the fucking 98 Brazil squad on the bench. Like, you have got literally a handful of cards to play. Today, I think he played them wrong. But you haven't got a fucking whole host of cards to play. And you say, right, okay, so you don't play McTominay. What I want him to do is I want him to stick to the principles that Erik ten Hag came to Manchester United with. The reasons why we wanted him as a manager, the reasons why we enjoyed him as a manager last season. Last season was built on 2 things, in my opinion. The midfield partnership of Casemiro and Eriksen, which no longer exists.
No.
Like, they're both just fucking imagination. And the ability to play out mainly through Martinez and Varane, who don't exist anymore. Right? So when you go, well, what the fuck happened? That is what happened. Yeah. And you lose 4 key players out of a team. And those are 4 fucking good players. Right? Christian Eriksen, one of the most cultured, intelligent players that's ever graced the Premier League. And Martinez, for me, player of the year last year. Right? So when you look at those 4 players out of any team, that is your core. And why are we now not getting any level of control in games? That's why. Why are we defending like fucking idiots? That's why. All of this comes back to that. Those 4 players not being available. So for me, you've got to get as close as you can get to that. That's why Luke Shaw's playing left side centre half at the moment. I think you've got to throw Mainu and Amrabat in there. It's the closest thing that we have in our squad to being able to play a double pivot of Casemiro and Eriksen. They're not Casemiro and Eriksen, but you've got nothing else like it. And you also haven't got the level of control in games, either at centre-half or in midfield, where you can just say, oh, Amrabat or Mainu, please be like Rodri and just knit it all together on your own. They're not that good to do that. And actually, Manchester City can't find anyone else who can fucking do it either, by the way. Rodri's that good. No one, if you're not Rodri, guess what? We need to play 2. So unless you've got Rodri, and we don't, you need to play 2. Because playing with 2 attacking midfielders in, Scott McTominay might as well be a fucking second striker at the moment, and Bruno thinks he's a second striker. You have no control in midfield. This was evident from the Wolves game. And it hasn't got better since. We had our best performance on Wednesday night against Chelsea, and the reason we had our best performance against Chelsea is Pochettino was stubborn as fuck and just decided to continue trying to play out against a very good Manchester United press. Our chances that we created came from us pressing the bollocks out of Chelsea, Disasi giving it up, Sanchez giving it up, and we just did the same fucking thing to Bournemouth tonight. Our inability to play out, no ability to switch it up because you haven't got anyone you can fucking bosh it up to. We lose the ball at the back, or it comes back a little bit too fast, and that's how they got all their goals. We are not creating any chances from open play at all. We're not seeing any link-up. We're not seeing any third-man runs. We're not seeing fuck all imagination because we don't have the ball for prolonged periods of time where we can actually work it to someone. And I know we had a lot of possession today, but we didn't have a lot of purposeful possession.
I mean, it's a great point, that last one. It is exactly how we like to win games, is what Bournemouth did today. Obviously, we don't like to have 21% possession or 25% possession, whatever it was. But the way they scored their goals is how we score our goals. And it comes from the fact that the back 4 in the midfield, that link-up play, just isn't there at the minute. Some of the little, ins and outs with Eriksen and flicking around the corner to Bruno and Casemiro last season and Martinez was exceptional. For you then, is this not on the manager? I'm not saying you've criticised certain parts of what he's done, and I'm not taking that away, but in terms of the bigger picture here, there's going to be a lot of people questioning Ten Hag about whether he should be the United manager, whether he should be doing better with what's at his disposal. Are you sort of saying that with what's at his disposal, there's a limit to what he can do? Because a lot of people won't accept a sort of 3-0 home loss, though, will they? Yeah.
look, this is the internet, right? And social media, and everyone wants an absolute answer. And I'm not going to give you an absolute answer because I do not believe in my heart there is an absolute answer which guarantees if Manchester United do this one thing, we just start winning games fucking 5-0. I think there's probably about 49 things we need to do to get close to doing that. But I, like in my bones, don't believe sacking Ten Hag gets you any closer to that. I don't. I think that there should be a lot of people that get out the fucking door well before him. But that doesn't absolve him from like that. People did this under Ollie. Like there was flaws in what Ollie was doing. I'm seeing so many more people now rose tint Ollie's reign. The problem with Ollie in the end is he didn't believe in himself, and it might get to that point with Ten Hag. He might, we might push him to the limit where he does not actually no longer believe in himself. And if that happens, then yeah, he'll have to go as well, because once the belief in yourself has gone, I don't know where you go from there as a manager. Managers have to be stubborn. They have to be arrogant. They have to believe they've got the answer to everything in their heads. Otherwise, who's going to follow them? Like they have to walk onto the training pitch and go, I know what you need to do. Here's what it is. And if they don't do that, who's going to follow them? Like no manager going, well, lads, it could be one of 3 or 4. Like, fuck that. The lads aren't going to listen. People need absolutes. And, when analysing it, we can't give you absolutes because it isn't that. No, I don't think he is certainly entirely responsible for everything that's happened or to blame. I don't think he's to blame. Unfortunately, though, he is responsible. And that's a bad thing for him because I don't think there's a quick fix in here. He's had people who were reliable either be injured all season, be completely fucking MIA all season, be injured all season, or just completely fucking shit the bed. Marcus Rashford delivered him 30 goals last year. What's he on? 1? 2? Halfway through the season. Great, nice one. You had Casemiro, who was, getting fucking Roy Keane shouts middle of last season.
Yeah.
Don't even play for us no more. I don't know if he ever will play for us again. You had Rafael Varane, who rolled back the years and was, people talking about fucking Rolls Royces. Doesn't play for us. Sandro Martinez, fucking cult hero inside about 5 minutes of making his debut, hasn't fucking featured for us this season. Like all of those things are outside of his control, as is the fucking shit show of the right wing situation. You've had 3 very, very fucking good players, all for whatever reasons go through some personal bullshit. So, what's up with that? You've had a striker that was injured early doors, has had a couple of knocks, seemingly isn't fit. Otherwise, I don't think Anthony Martial gets a fucking shirt today. So I don't know what's going on with Højlund. But then you think, all right, well, he's got to throw this guy in. And then, all right, well, the same's happened with Amrabat. He came, he's been flung in probably a little bit too soon because there is literally no one else. The same's probably going to happen with Kobe Mainoo. He'll probably get overplayed because there is nobody else. Like United, I don't know what they can do. I don't know what they can do. I don't think you can fix this in. I think you probably could fix this in a couple of transfer windows. I don't think we can fix this in a couple of transfer windows.
Bloody hell. Right. Cheers for joining us, Steve. Hopefully, with the right transfer windows, new people coming in, people coming back from injury, we can start to see things turn around here. But it's pretty rough stuff at the minute. Hard watching. Make sure you hit subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And we'll see you in a bit.